We gotta make sure we get Rihanna.
Nah, you gotta stop saying my name. I got a code name.
What's your code name?
I ain't figured it out yet, but I'm
You
gonna
ain't
get
got
on
no
it.
code name.
Code name
Code
silly.
name Kids Next Door.
Wait a minute, you got the camera. You got the camera in your camera. All right, there you go. You good? All right. What you got, person? You close the door.
Let me see. So today we gonna talk about the 48 Laws of Power, by Robert Greene. So the first one is never outshine your master. What's your thoughts on that?
You gotta say who you talking to.
Oh, I'm talking to Dr. Bolton, talking to Joe.
Dr. Austin.
That's your daddy, fool. That's your daddy.
I'm just saying who
And
you directing the question to.
Today we're gonna give you a code name, all right? We got Mr. G in today joining us.
Now the funny thing is,
What?
my grandfather's name was Garfield,
Uh huh.
and I have an uncle that makes up names for everybody. Mr. G was my grandfather's name.
Mr. G is your grandfather's name?
Mm-hmm.
I think I only
Yes.
got one side. What
I have books.
All right. Let me see.
I'm all good. So I was just saying that, like, who are you posing the question to, so we don't
So
kind of stumble over each other answering.
Is everybody? So the first one is never outshine the master. What are y'all thoughts on that first one, and how does it relate to your everyday life?
To my everyday life?
Yeah, everyday life. Like, what's your
Not at
original
all.
thoughts on the law? Do you think it's factual?
I mean, I think it depends on the situation you're in. If you're trying to advance in, like, say you trying to sign on with a different company or something, then you could outshine somebody. But
But it's never outshine the master. So do you think it's
hey,
a bit
you
of
gotta to be the man, you gotta beat the man, right?
Nah, not always. You gotta be strategic in how you do that. You get what I'm saying? If you outshining your boss, if you outshining your master, your boss, whatever the case may be, sometimes you gotta be a little covert. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
What do you think? I mean, hey, if I got it, we on it. What's that? Don't hesitate.
But it depends on who your master is.
Okay.
Your master is going to be different people in different situations. It doesn't matter if we're doing family business. My father's the master.
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak first. I say the parts. If my father is there, no matter what we're doing, I lead from behind. Even though I know I gotta lead, I know who Mr. Bolton is. I lead from behind. I never outshine my father. I never make my father look smaller. Before I introduce Dr. Bolton, I introduce Mr. Bolton. And I let everybody know that Dr. Bolton came from Mr. Bolton. So there's never a dynamic of, there's never an imbalance in our relationship because I need him to remain who he's always been to me. So I need him elevated if I gotta hold him up. When I'm talking to my nephew, he and his dad, are having something that they disagree on. You don't look at it as outshining the master. We can agree to disagree, and you can not take my advice. Outshining the master is how you do it. When you do it in a way that reduces my station or authority. When I do it kind of like licking my tongue out at you, as opposed to, with much respect and much consideration, I would like to try it this way. I don't have to frame it that way, but in how I frame it, how I pose it, because the master is the master for a reason. A master is a different position than a learned person or an intelligent person. A master usually has a large realm of influence. So if you may not need this master at this second, but you're gonna need him 10 seconds from now, so you don't you don't forget which side your bread is buttered on. So if I am in a university setting and I present some information or challenge some information that may be deemed as disrespectful to a well-accomplished historian, I may have limited my assistance that I would get from that person later because I chose to outshine you as opposed to approaching it in a particular way. It's not saying don't accomplish what you need to accomplish. It's saying to outshine somebody, which means I either use so much of my light that you couldn't be seen, or I purposely put my light next to yours. So I think that is more so of, and as I get to read that chapter more, I'm going to be able to really find out what it was that he was talking about. But I just had this conversation where I was offering somebody wise counsel, and I had this book here, and that was the first thing that we had started talking about. So, we have to understand, one, we have to recognize who our masters are. And a lot of times we're reluctant to, and especially in the Black community, I'm sure, we're very, we have a lot of anxiety around that term. Nobody my master, only Jesus is my master, or whatever, Allah, or whomever you choose to be your leadership of yourself spiritually. Very few times do people miss the message because of wording, and I think that's also an issue in that too. But yeah, it's I find it best exemplified in family. And if you can understand it in family, then you can translate it to the workplace. You can translate it to education. You can translate it to marriage. There are times I know Tamika can be wrong as two left shoes. Oh, I got her back. Then we get in the car, I'm gonna be like, dude, don't ever do that again. You was wrong as I don't know what. But out in front of everybody, ride or die. So in that case, my spouse is the master. And it don't matter how many degrees I get, I'm never going to outshine her intellectually because I didn't have them before I met her. Again, that's, at the very least, you made me who I needed to be able to get them. So I'm not going to get where I can spell able and then try to make you look silly. So, again, I appreciate her. I keep her elevated above me because she's my wife. But whatever I have doesn't challenge that. So again, she's the master in this situation. In some situations, my kids are the master. I have a duty and responsibility to be of service to them. At the time that I get so big that I'm not taking care of them, now I'm going to lose some other things that I need. Old age, they don't, put me in the nursing home or something like that. But I'm just saying, once you get over that hill of master, and I think people in the Black community really stumble over that. From gender, that'll take us to submission with women. Oh, Black women and the word submission. Whoo, you won't have a problem. Submission to Black women is like master to Black men.
I gotta disagree.
Come on with it. You wrong. You have the right
Okay,
to your
disagree.
own opinion. I have the right to be correct.
Whatever, man.
Go ahead, talk to me.
Okay, so a lot of the times in my experience, I often utilize at least the first law with my experience will probably be more so work related. So as I went through the book, because I listened to the book, the full book on audio, I was often listening to it from a standpoint of, okay, that's how I move with y'all MFers at work. Okay, cool. You know. But as far as black women having an issue with submission, I think it's who they're choosing to submit to. So I think if the right person shows up,
Stop. Repeat what you said.
I think it's who they're choosing to submit to.
Okay, I need you
So-
to get a sentence behind that and give me a run and start back into that because I want some context.
Man, look.
No. I'm dead serious because I do not want to react wrong to that.
So if they choose to submit to the right people, I don't think they have an issue with being submissive. So I just think it's who they're choosing to not submit to and submit to.
Okay. We can come from this in so many different ways. Statistically, 1 in 4 black women are getting married ever. So we kind of see that there is there is some issue within matrimony that is a majority issue within black women. That is numerical, that's just a fact we can count it. Have you heard of a conversation about submission that there was not a strong dissent if it was involving black women?
I don't know.
Have you heard a conversation that was positive dealing with black anywhere? It could be intellectual, it could be ghetto, it could be family, it could be internet. Have you heard of a conversation that was positive?
Yes.
All right. Okay, please tell me about it.
Yes. So my relationship with a good bit of black women, like I said, what I'm telling you is what I'm hearing. Because like I said, my experience is different than the average black woman. So what I'm hearing is, hey, if the right person shows up, I have no issue submitting.
Oh, so every time you heard it, it wasn't I have submitted, I do submit. It was I think in the right circumstance, like if they give me the right job, I'll work harder. I'm talking about where someone has said to you, I believe in feminine submission. I practice feminine submission. Have you heard that, seen that? Internet, book?
Yes.
Where?
Yes,
Not if one day I might.
No, because
Help me.
I've heard women say, hey, yes, I have submitted for this one person. It didn't work like this, so I had to add these things in place. If the right person comes along, I am glad to submit.
Okay.
So it's not that they're not willing. They have tried. It's like, all right, cool. That don't work with you. But let the right person circle around, then we're good.
Okay. Now, by that conversation, I have a problem with the logic. If I submitted before, and I know it was that problem, there was that person, why are we having a conversation about submission? We should be having a problem about people. If I'm with Joel and Joel steals, every time we go out, Joel steals. Now, I know it's not black men that steal. I know it's Joe. But you just told me the context of you all's conversation was, I was out with Joe, and Joe stole. And if I get with the right person again, I don't mind going back out
But what if that was your first time out with Joe? How would you know that Joe's still?
But no,
That shit
no. So what I'm
You don't go into
right. What I'm
chicken
saying is, if the next time you go out with a black man, stealing shouldn't come up. Just like if I know that if submission wasn't the issue, I wouldn't be talking about submission later. If you thought the problem was Joel. The problem is with submission if I'm saying, but for and only if again this occurs, I'll do this. If it's like, okay, that was Joel, of course, if I find the right person, submission comes along with it. Or I'm looking for the right person. I want to submit.
I think that's what it is. It's like we're coming from two different sides of the table,
Okay.
trying to meet in the middle somewhere. So I think they
why
genuinely want to.
Okay. We're going to function from a American, just so we can scope this. We are going to function from a Judeo-Christian American perspective, right? Christian black folk in America, right? Most of that group pull submission by a female from where?
Say it louder, man.
Comes from the word.
Huh?
Comes from the Bible.
Come from the Bible. Now, what does the verse?
Joe, why you looking like that?
What does the verse right before that say?
Husbands, submit yourself to the Lord.
Men submit themselves to the Lord. Love your wife as Jesus loved the church. Jesus died for the church. Okay? So, men have to love, under the Judeo-Christian structure, men have to love their wives to the point of death. Okay? Women don't have to love their husbands. Not by the Judeo-Christian construct. It says, because now think about it. The man is supposed to be so dedicated to his wife that he would die rather than to see her unhappy. If I have to love my woman like Jesus loved the church, that means my life is worth less than your happiness. You can like it, not like it, whatever. That's where that whole thing comes from. Now, unfortunately, they started reading from submission on and didn't read before that. Under that construct, if a man has elevated his wife properly, her natural inclination will be submission to him because he thinks about her first.
But a lot of us not even making it to wife. So, do a lot of men have the same mindset as y'all two, because y'all two are husbands of black women? Let me put that out there. Of black women. Y'all two are husbands. A lot of the men, in what I'm hearing, they may not be moving like that. So therefore, it's almost like a push and pull. Push and pull, because y'all get mad that you're not getting submission, but a lot of dudes, that goes back to the generation conversation. They ain't moving like that.
Nah, they're not leaders, so it's like you don't want to submit to somebody who's not a leader.
This is my problem, and this is where the age generation comes in. I don't count go with. I don't count girlfriend.
But that's the stages that we stuck in. You dig what I'm saying?
Stuck is the operative term. What I'm saying is, men, black men, for the purposes of this conversation, are getting married. We good. Somebody gonna marry us. Either the sister gonna marry us, the white lady gonna marry us, the Asian gonna marry us, the Indian lady gonna marry us. We're getting married.
But the black women are only tunnel vision on black men.
No.
A good bit
No.
of them. A
Stop.
good bit of them.
Stop.
Damn near every black woman I know.
You can't, this is what you can't get around. We can talk about the scope of our awareness, but that is limited to our awareness. statistically, 3 out of 4 are not getting married. So you can't tell me.
So if they only focused on dating black men, how would they make it to marriage?
Why is it a given construct that they are focused on black men? That is not a given. Why is it a given construct that they are interested in marriage? Because they're still having kids. They're doing that. But marriage is not going on. The conversation has become now.
Yeah, how you just
Huh?
put that
What?
off? How you just put that off on women? It'll just take one.
No. I'm saying.
It takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
No.
It ain't just her.
No, you're not listening to the point I'm making. If one group is getting married, this is what I'm worried about. This is why I care. I got my wife. I can be like, it's our problem, okay? This group of my community is left unprotected. Okay? When your job is going to matter until you retire. Your education is going to matter until you forget it. At some point, you're going to end up 75 and need something off the top shelf. Your job ain't going to help you. Your all of the stuff that black women have put in place of husbands is useless at that point. Because now it's not 2 brains. If you 5'4" and you got something on a 6-foot shelf, and you 75 years old living by yourself because you didn't get married, who is your husband? Your kids.
So, look, I do feel as though black women need to choose better, and I do feel as though black men need to do better. Now, I'm on the outside looking in because I'm not interested.
This is what alarms me. It always has to be these balanced scales when it comes to criticism or elevation or applause. Black women need to do better, but black men need to. That's not what we're talking about.
We was talking about 48 laws of power.
I understand that. And what we were talking, and the way that we went to that was the word master and how people can't get over particular words, and that gets in the way of their success. And I had made the comparison of black men have trouble with that word moving forward, master, just like our women have a trouble with the word submission, which is stopping them from progression. You are being left unprotected because of some. Now there are many choices. I understand. Now we could talk forever on why that dynamic occurred, because 2 generations of men were pulled out of the community. When they returned for another 2 generations, they're productively behind, which is frustrating. I already understand why we're that way. My issue is what's coming is a full generation of black women left completely unprotected, going from their car to their house by themselves. No one to call when they're walking out from their job to their car, which I never understood the logic of that. It ain't nothing I can do if somebody grabbed my wife between her car and her job, but that makes her feel better. It's like her husband's super testosterone is going to put a force field around her through the cell phone. But that's what I'm saying. We got 2 generations, not thousands, not hundreds of thousands. We're talking 40 million people, 2 generations of them.
So when I offer a perspective, it's not a perspective from a place of it has to be equal. I'm telling you what I see because I'm from the outside looking in, and I kind of got a foot in the door because I date black women. I'm telling you what I see. what they want, they're telling you what they want. Both sides are telling you what they want, but they missing the point. Like they missing each other completely. One side is saying, "Hey, I want submission." The other side is saying, "Hey, I want a better person to submit to." That's all I'm saying. They still trying to get to each other. They just missing it.
I am hearing and seeing. Hey, I want. See, you didn't grow up through No Romance Without Finance. You did.
Okay.
See what we
Elaborate.
Okay, well, it's just that no romance without finance.
It's called tricking.
You ain't got no money.
They still do it.
Okay, and you have to understand when you're talking about better people. Slaves got married. We married at the 80 percentile when it was illegal. Okay, I couldn't protect you. Master say, bring her up here.
In front of you.
I couldn't do.
So what do you think the problem is?
No.
From your
Let me keep
perspective.
going.
Okay.
Let me keep going because it didn't just stop there. In Jim Crow, you think Emmett Till's uncle did not look horrible in front of his wife when they came in there and said, "Give me that boy," and he had to, because he knew they're gonna kill everybody in here if I don't. But we were still married at the 80th percentile in Jim Crow. All the way up until the war on drugs. So don't tell me that black women have not understood and bent and negotiated to the situations and circumstances of black men. That they have always had the ability to see the best in us when they made a desire.
I think they have. I think they're tired of being let down. They're tired of getting their heart broken. Like I said, black women do need to choose better, but black men need to be better.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. Choosing to be alone is still a bad choice. Number one, you attract you. I don't understand how Kevin Samuel was a blessing to the generation.
You gonna get canceled?
No, because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. He let people speak their truth. He didn't say, "This is what I think about black women. This is what I think about black women." They was calling. They were calling. So not only was it in their head, they thought it was okay to say.
First of all, half of them people that I heard had completely unrealistic expectations. Like, completely.
Baby.
I just said choose better.
Who done dated more black women, me or you?
Me?
Okay?
I was just
That's what I'm telling you. Yes. Yes, we got sisters that want a six-figure brother, either already in place or one that they didn't help build. And will stay by themselves. But this is the crazy part. I'm gonna have the babies with the broke dude.
I said
These are
choose
choices.
better. I'm being honest about the situation. Yes, they do need to choose better.
But now here's my question. But do the black men got to be better?
They do.
Wait a minute, stop.
You
Stop.
can't-
Stop. Do you
No,
know how
no.
big of a gap there is between the six-figure brother and broke Willie that's having? Do you know the majority of black men, 50% of black men over 30 are unmarried and without kids? Did you know that?
No, I'm not looking.
It
for
is
picture of
only
film.
about 16% of black men over 25 with a bunch of kids that's not married. So that means black women are selecting a very.
That goes back to
it's
what
too.
I'm saying. Choose
Hold-
better.
No. I'm making a point. I'm choosing a very small percentage on this end that is just not worth anything. They're going to sit on your couch and play PlayStation till you make them leave. Or they're going to go for the upper 9% that's got so much of their life together, they don't need you. Why are y'all too good for the plumbers and the carpenters and the guy making $48,500? And yeah, you making $100,000, but he'll watch the kids and he'll hang your clothes up and he'll do all of that. That's also a choice too. So we're talking about guys got to be better, but there are some wonderful brothers.
I never said that.
No, yes, you did.
No,
what
I
you
didn't.
said was we gotta be better, and I'm saying there are.
That goes into both sectors.
No,
We have to choose better
which
as
is
women,
why I'm
and
telling
men
you,
have to be better.
everything cannot be a sandwich.
Okay.
It's like, well, I'm not going to say anything bad about black women unless I say something bad about black men. Or I'm
I
not going to
never
say
said
anything
that.
bad about black men.
I never said that.
Okay, but this is what I was telling you when you introduced me to Kevin Samuel.
I didn't. Well,
You
yeah,
did- what you did?
I said it.
What?
I said it.
You
from
didn't
a
introduce me to Kevin
I
Samuel.
said it from a standpoint of cancel his ass.
Yes, you did. And
Look at this.
yeah, and I said, well, before I go into Rage Against the Machine, let me listen to what you're talking about. In fact, that's what we were talking about. You were saying these people say these black men say all this hateful stuff, and I'm going, I'm not seeing that on the internet. And I said, tell me where to find this black male hate toward black women. And you said Kevin Samuel. So I said, okay, cool. Now I go on there and brother is sharp. Sharp. Wish I could be that sharp. Brother was sharp. And I'm going, okay. And when he started off, I'm like, am I right or wrong? And I'm listening. And I was amazed at how you hopped over the women. Just full of ain't got, handful of nothing, mouthful of multiplies, talking about what they deserve. I tell my wife all the time, you deserve way more than me. But what you got is me.
This is what you got.
You know what I'm saying? We can't live in a life. When you function in a mindset of, if I don't get what I deserve, I'll have nothing. That creates a whole lot of sociological problems. And what I'm saying is, our black women have apparently.
Well, maybe y'all need to have this conversation with a black woman that's actually interested in y'all. Because I literally be trying to tell you what is being told through me, because you know what I'm saying, I'm in a precarious situation where it's like I'm getting information from both sides. I'm seeing what you're saying, don't get me wrong, some parts of it. But I'm also telling y'all, okay, this is what black women is saying.
My wife is an elder. Okay? She gives wise counsel to, and she works in nursing. So it's a lot of women of color. Most of them, obviously, by the statistics, are not married. The general conversation that she functions with is the expectation of, I will rise to the occasion if the worthy occasion comes to me. But some people, life is just given to them.
Right.
Just things just happen. Well, you got to find out, am I that person? If you're not, like the person I was when Tamika met me, she probably walked past now because she has made me into a whole nother class of dude. She had to be willing to do the work and was willing for me to plateau at any point in between there and now. Our sisters ain't willing to do that. That's not.
I think that's
Well,
not
my
factual.
question
Go ahead.
is because I'm looking at Law 1, right? And a couple of things kind of stand out. Is it based upon the perception of authority that allows someone to yield to that person's power? Because in here it says everyone is insecure, but an insecure boss can retaliate more strongly than others can. And so understanding that there is some insecurity in the relationship. So those individuals who are insecure perceive that individual to be the one who has the authority and the power to get them what they need. And I think that, because I don't have a whole chapter, right?
Well, here's a summary of Law 1 from the book.
Right.
Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please or impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity
Right.
in them.
Right.
Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power.
Exactly right. So the perception of the authority allows me to maneuver in a situation where I'm going to gain and get what I need in the long run. And I think that's where a lot of times I don't care if it's dating situations, if it's marital situations, if it's situations at the job or with colleagues, those individuals who are perceived to have the power or who is perceived to be the master is the one who's going to be catered to until you get to a point to where you become the master. And therefore you have less reliance on those individuals unless you always have to go back to that master in order to get more knowledge or to glean something more.
That's what makes them a master.
Yes.
And
yes.
part of being a master is knowing who the masters are.
Exactly right.
So a master is always the master.
Right.
Because when my grandmother was in the final stages of dementia, she was still the master. She was still the matriarch. The master was orbiting around her to make sure she was okay.
Right.
Her smile could make me do ...
Yes.
That's that energy because when you really talk about what a master is, that's how your kid can be a master. Everything that I am orbits around my children, and you see me with my kids, and you know that. So even though I'm in charge, who's being served?
Right.
Them. So it's not because I think when you are everything that we do for ourselves. Everything that we do. I'm not married to my wife because I love my wife.
Right.
I'm married to her because I love the way she makes me feel about me, so I keep her around so I can keep that feeling about me. That's
Miss Beaker, he love you.
I'm saying that's the psychological premise, but to a very large extent it's true. At the point that I am doing what I'm doing to gain a particular outcome, now we're talking about manipulation, which is different than serving a master.
Okay, but in that premise, does the master do what they do because they themselves need to be served? Or do they do what they do in service of others so they can be served? Or is it a matter of service at all?
The best way I can explain it would be under the guise of Christianity. Just being you draws people to your masterdom.
Right.
It's not, I'm not serving so you'll see me serve, or or trying to draw people so they can. I'm just being me. And this is what happens. Everybody's not a master, or everybody is a master. It just depends. I don't think you can make yourself a master. Hence, I'm doing this to get this reaction. You can